Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to today's Money 101 episode, and I wanted to talk about a very important topic, okay? And the topic is very simple. So, just because you're making more does not necessarily mean you're getting wealthier. And the reason why this topic came up is because I was talking to my friend yesterday who basically he's basically making almost double his regular income, right? I'm not going to put the numbers out there, private information. And basically, I told him, I asked him first of all, well, okay, that's awesome, that's fantastic. And I was like, but where did the money go? And he was like, well, I spent the money. And he didn't even know where he spent the money, which is actually a problem for a lot of people. Usually when they start making more money, they end up spending it on different things like, food, clothes, maybe a car or whatever it might be. And basically what ends up happening in turn is they're not basically getting wealthier. They're basically staying at the same level. And this is very truthful to a lot of people. They think that, wealth is based on just how much money you're making, but actually it's based on how much you're keeping and reinvesting. Those are the two key things, because you can literally, some people might be like, well, I predict that I'm going to be making more money. But here's the thing that happens when you have expensive tastes. You're going to end up finding different ways to satisfy those tastes, right? Especially if you get a little bit of a taste to something more luxurious, you're going to end up chasing more luxurious things. So that's why it ends up becoming kind of a rat race, right? You keep fighting on making more money, and then what ends up happening is you spend that money and you don't really keep anything. So you're not really accumulating wealth. You're basically just spending. You're actually helping somebody else become wealthier. Whether you're buying the products or, Louis Vuitton or Gucci, whatever. There's actually a study that was done. Most of those luxurious clothes brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, whatever it might be, it's actually mostly consumers who are not millionaires who make sure those stores stay in business, right? And this can be close to a Gucci belt or whatever costs like $300. And people who actually can't afford it are the ones who are buying it. And the reason why I want to make this video here is because I wanted to basically put it out there that just because you're making more money does not mean you're getting wealthier. And you want to be very careful about this, because the one thing you can be able to do is ask yourself, if you made 6 figures this year, how much of that did you keep and how much of that did you reinvest? Because a lot of people end up spending way too much money. And the one study that was actually also done was where that people who were making a combined income of like $100,000 in a household income, and compared to a person who was making like $200,000, $250,000 a year, and they looked at them at long term, the people who were making less, by almost 100% less, they actually ended up being wealthier. They ended up becoming millionaires net worth wise compared to the people who were making even more money. Do you see what I'm talking about here? And that's kind of one of the other rules Warren Buffett talks about a lot. He says, rule number 1, right? Don't lose money. Rule number 2, look at rule number 1. And this is not just in the sense of investing. This is in the sense of your income. If you are losing your money, okay, then you're not growing any wealth. You're basically living paycheck to paycheck. There are millionaires who are living paycheck to paycheck. There's people making 6 figures, they live paycheck to paycheck. And then there's people who make 50 grand a year, 45 grand a year, and they're not living paycheck to paycheck because they know how to keep their wealth. So after I had the talk with my friend, I told him, like, dude, you need to get down and get your finances down. You need to understand where that money is going. And you need to basically make sure that you're actually keeping it, because you're doubled your income, but what you ended up doing was you doubled your lifestyle, but you're still making the same amount of money because you're keeping the same amount of money at the end of the day. And 10 years, 20 years from now, you're going to look back to it and you're not going to make as much money. So basically, I ended up doing this math with him. Okay, 1 second, I got to move my phone here, change my arm. This arm was getting tired. So basically what I did with him was this. I told him, like, okay, dude, let's break down the numbers real quick. I told him that, okay, so you're spending about $7,200 a year on, eating out. You're spending $7,200 a year eating out, about $600 a month. Not eating out, but basically personal expenses, things that he didn't necessarily need, including eating out, maybe buying a new phone that he doesn't really need, different expenses that accumulate $600 a month. You get what I'm saying? And we did the math, and I was like, dude, if you put that money and reinvest it into something that gives you 11% yearly return, by the time he retires, that money would be close to, I think over $650,000 reinvested, compounded growth, and reinvesting about $600 a month. That's how powerful it is for you to realize that when you are accumulating wealth, it's about you reinvesting it and keeping it. Just because you doubled your income does not mean you're going to get wealthier. What you end up doing is basically increasing your lifestyle. And at that moment, you might see like, oh, that's great, that's perfect. I'm able to, buy more expensive things. But here's the thing though, 20 years, 50 years from now, you're going to look at the bank account and you're going to be like, damn, I earned over $2 million in my lifetime, but I only have $50,000 to show for it. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you earned, let's say, $5 million, $10 million, and you only have $500K to show for it. That's not good. You should have way more accumulated over time, because you got to think long term. It's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't be buying things, more things, when you are making more money. I told him, like, dude, you need to budget yourself. You need to be like, okay, if I want to buy a new car, okay, never buy a new car, buy a used car, at least 3 years older, right? Because, depreciation basically hits the car pretty hard the first 3 years. But basically budget yourself and make sure you have a safety net of money saved up, okay? Emergency funds. And then after that, have like at least 6 months of your income saved up. And then from there, start reinvesting the rest of the money that comes in. And then after a year or 2 years of doing this, then you can start budgeting to maybe go on vacation or something. And you can be able to start getting more different things. Ooh, this hand is not getting shakier. And those are the different things I was basically recommending him to do. And that's basically the whole point of this video. Just because you're making more does not mean you're getting wealthier, okay? That's the most basic thing that you need to think about, because trust me, you might be like, oh, right now I'm not making that much money, so it's fine. No, trust me, just because you add more zeros to your income, you're still going to be spending more money than you would need to spend, all right? So thank you very much for watching this Money 101 episode. And make sure to always think about, just because you're making more money does not necessarily mean you're getting wealthier. All right? Thank you very much for watching, and see you in another episode. Peace out.